So today's drill is going to prioritize thoracic spine mobility, but you're also going to get an effective stretch through the lats and the triceps, which means it's a 3-for-1 deal, which is pretty sweet. You're going to need two things for this drill: a broomstick or a comparable dowel rod, as well as a bench that's about 18 inches off the floor, or again, something comparable. To get into starting position, we're going to move down to the floor, kneeling position. Then we're going to place our elbows on the bench. Now, when we place our elbows, we want to be close to the edge of whatever surface we're using. You'll see why later in the stretch as you move into a deeper range of motion. But we also want to make sure that relative to our positioning, the elbows are just slightly in front of the head, if at all possible. Our knees should be directly below our hips once we're in position. So you might have to move around just a little bit. And finally, we want to make sure that we're maintaining a neutral spine position. So it should be a relatively straight line through from the hips to the back of the head. So I'm going to position my elbows just as such, slightly in front of my head. My knees are below my hips. Now, the down rod should be resting in the palm of your hand. We want to make sure the palms of the hands are pointing back towards the wall behind us. Okay, so we're not grabbing it this way here. Palms are up. And your elbows should be positioned such that they're just about shoulder width apart. Just maybe a little bit wider if needed, but not anything significant. So, from this position, what we're going to do is we are going to rock the bum back towards the heels. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Now, you should start to feel a pretty good stretch through the lats and the back of the arms at this point here. Once you get to the point where your head or your forehead is just about in line with the edge of the bench, what you're going to do is you're going to bring the dowel rod back towards your upper back. And now you should feel quite the stretch through the lats as well as the triceps. From this position, you should be maintaining a relatively straight line through from the back of the head to the hips. That back should be straight. You should be maintaining that neutral spine position. From here, you're going to exhale out and allow the chest and the rib cage to drop down towards the floor. Simultaneously, trying to bring that dowel rod even a little bit further, respecting your individual range of motion as you do so. So I'm going to exhale now. And I'm going to hold this end range of motion. Big breath out. And then releasing the stretch just like so. Now, personally, how I like to execute this is I like to go for 8 to 10 repetitions. Getting into position and respecting my range of motion, holding that end range for maybe 2 or 3 seconds, focusing on maintaining that neutral spine. Release. Come right back out, and then return back into that end range of motion. And then, on the final repetition is when I really focus on that exhale, allowing that deep range of motion to be reached as the rib cage and chest lowers down toward the floor. It's a simple drill, but it's incredibly effective. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think.